Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, as you can see, we have Shemira on the Pioneer server. We're going to go through her full skills and try to analyze them. But keep in mind, this is a Pioneer server and it is possible that before we get it on Global or VN that there will be changes made because that is the nature of Pioneer. Okay, we're going to begin with the ultimate ability of Shemira, Phantom Procession, which is the coolest animation in the game in my opinion, where she summons all the ghosts, especially when they're channeled at a single target. So it will begin with 300 pre-filled energy, and it will have a passive that any ghost which is being summoned by Shemira through her other abilities will also join into the bombardment to increase the damage further. So the active is Shemira summons 10 ghosts to bombard random enemies for 10 seconds. If there is one single enemy, all of them will be bombarding that specific enemy. If there are multiple, then they will be distributed across all of them. Each ghost deals 110% attack multiplier. When we look at the maximum, 150% attack multiplier, plus 15% per ultimate power. And if you get a 4 ultimate power from charms, that is going to be a bonus 60% damage. So 150 plus 60 is 210% in total for each ghost, potentially with maxed out like ultimate power from Mythic plus charms. When a ghost deals damage, Shemira heals herself for 50% plus, again, ultimate power is going to modify this to up to 70 total percent healing of damage dealt, which is actually a very high amount of healing. 70% of damage dealt through this, what can be formed as healing. When the ghost returns to her, she heals herself again for another up to 70% of that damage. This is crazy. So she's actually going to be healing for more than even 100% of the damage that she's inflicting against the opponents. The percentage of the ghost damage drops to 50% once an enemy has been struck 15 times or more by the ghost. The strike count resets whenever Shemira casts her ultimate. So this is kind of one issue. So what happens is, you must be thinking, well, okay, if she summons 10 ghosts at the enemy, then you're never going to hit this 15 limit, right? But what happens is these ghosts target the enemy, then they come back and cycle back to Shemira, and then again, they channel through Shemira to the enemy again, and they keep cycling round and round until they all get depleted somehow. And so you're definitely going to be hitting the a single opponent more than 15 times, and then you're going to trigger a damage reduction, 50% damage reduction, which is pretty big. So the thing is, people are thinking, well, or there was a recommendation that Shemira might be good for Dream Realm. However, the problem is, if your damage is reduced after those 15 strikes, and there's only one single enemy in Dream Realm, your ultimate is not going to be getting off its full damage value. However, in AFK stages, because you're splitting across potentially 5 enemy heroes, you're actually going to be able to get a lot of value and probably never need to trigger this damage reduction, and you're going to get maximum damage off as well as a lot of healing for herself. This is honestly really high. Even without ultimate power, it's 100% healing from damage dealt, because when it hits the opponent as well as when it returns to her, each one gives 50%, and then the ultimate power is going to add on top of that. So overall, the ultimate is really, I think, the key ability of Shemira and what is going to make her useful or not. Let's move on to her other abilities. Sacrificial Orb, this is her skill 2. This is going to be a 12-second cooldown and a 2-second initial cooldown. Shemira sacrifices 10% of her current health to summon the Wailing Orb from the Spectral Rift 4 tiles away, dealing, okay, up to 380% attack multiplier damage plus 40% per skill power. But honestly, I mean, you could go for like sorcery charms on to give her ultimate power and skill power, but I'm thinking that blast charms are going to be her optimal, just like with Tassi, just like with Taylene, because their major damage is from their ultimate. So this ability here, I don't know how to really feel about it. Like 380% attack multiplier, it's nice, I guess, a bit of bonus damage, but there's nothing game-changing here. There's no debuffs, there's no buffs, there's no control. It's just like damage to enemies within a path. Okay, moving on to Ghastly Tribute, which is skill 3 of Shemira. So this has an 8-second cooldown and a 4-second initial cooldown. The passive is whenever allies' HP or shield value loss reaches 50% of Shemira's maximum health, she summons 1 ghost to her side. Shemira can summon up to 5 ghosts outside of her ultimate, and by summoning these ghosts, they're going to then join in the bombardment when she casts her ultimate. That is one advantage, but you're going to see that not only HP loss is good on your team, like heroes like Taylene who lose HP a lot, it is also heroes who have shielding, because if you can shield up your team with like Hugin shields, even Surging Spell, Artifact, those shields are going to be depleted, and those are also going to cause Shemira to basically have her ghosts summoned around her. And the activist Shemira sacrifices 15% of her current health to deal true damage, and the true damage amount is 24% with skill power plus 3% of their maximum health. Now the thing is, if you're talking about boss battles, especially endless bosses, 24% of infinity is just going to be infinity, so you're just going to be reliant on your cap, and the damage cannot exceed 800% attack multiplier. So if you're talking about high deficit AFK stages, or if you're talking about endless dream realm, where the boss has such a high amount of health, you don't need this skill power. This skill power is completely useless because you're going to be capped at the 800% of your attack regardless whether you have the skill power or not. So that is an important point, but it can be an 800% attack multiplier true damage skill each time she casts it on active. If Shemira has any ghost summoned, she sacrifices 1 to strike the target and enemies within 1 tile of the target, dealing true damage equal to 20% of their maximum health. The damage each enemy takes cannot exceed 500%. Okay, so if she has ghost summoned, 1 will be sacrificed, and then the total multiplier of this is going to be 800% plus 500%, which is 1300% attack multiplier true damage each time she casts this ability. It is going to be an 8-second cooldown. However, with haste, like with the twins haste buffing your team, this can go down to a 4-second cooldown, and so basically on every 4 seconds or so, she can be casting this 1300% attack multiplier true damage. Which, the thing is, we know right now, true damage is not the king of damage sources for endless dream on bosses. Like, the HP per second damage is much better, and on the skill ups of the level, it just increases the amount of maximum health multiplier on this. However, that is not going to be useful for enemies who have such a high health pool. You're always going to be hitting your cap, right? But this is useful for PvP, where you're on equal terms with the opponent, and 30% of their maximum health is not going to be reaching up to these multipliers. So that is the thing. So skill power kind of only would benefit you in PvP. For AFK stages and endless dream realm, where you have massive health on the opponents you're attacking, you're probably always going to hit this cap of your multiplier, and then these like bonus skill powers are going to change much. Okay, so overall, yeah, this is a good ability. Ghastly Tribute, definitely good. Looks promising, even for Dream Realm, potentially. However, so this is definitely a lot better than her skill 2. Okay, moving on to her hero focus, Shemira's energy recovery from attacks increases by 24% during battle, and on the maximum rank, Shemira's energy recovery from attacks increases by 40% during battle. Now, the thing is, when they say from attacks, I don't know if this means all of her abilities, or if it only means her normal attacks. Yeah, if it's only normal attacks, increasing your energy recovery by 40% on your normal attacks, it will help a bit to charge your energy up, but honestly, it doesn't make that big of a difference. And after summoning 3 ghosts, her energy recovery from attacks increases by an extra 10%. She will summon 3 ghosts pretty early on in the fight. I'm confident about that. And so she can get up to a bonus 50% total energy recovery from attacks. Okay, to allow her to cycle her ultimate more. And her ultimate definitely is her defining ability. And we've seen that even in Dream Realm, even after you hit them 15 times and the damage is reduced, if she recasts her ultimate, the strike count is also going to reset to allow her to deal more damage. So the question will just be, is her ultimate damage, along with this true damage from Ghastly Tribute, is that going to be enough to make her a good damage deal for Dream Realm? I think potentially for people limited with options, it could be, but when you have all the options built, the overall top teams, I find it really difficult that Shemira will have a place into those, because how good other damage deals are as well. But I think for AFK stages, her damage output probably is going to be pretty crazy. Okay, moving on to the Mythic Plus ability, Spectral Barrier, exclusive equipment. So whenever Shemira takes a total of 30% of her maximum health and damage, or reaches the maximum number of summoned ghosts, which is 5, she sacrifices 1 ghost to gain a shield that lasts for 5 seconds. The shield can absorb 250% attack multiplier damage. When the shield expires, Shemira unleashes its remaining power against all enemies, dealing damage equal to the shield's remaining value. Okay, let's look at the level 3 upgrade. That's the only major skill change. When a ghost attacks its target during Shemira's ultimate, it deals extra true damage equal to 3% of the target's maximum health. The damage cannot exceed 90% attack multiplier. The attack also inflicts maximum health reduction, lowering the target's maximum health dealt by the amount of damage dealt. This effect reduces the unit's maximum health with a cap of 25% of the unit's initial value. However, it does not apply in modes that track damage dealt, including modes like Dream Realm, Arcane Labyrinth, Battle Drills, Primal Lord, Guild Supremacy, Ravage Realm, Titan Reaver. So it would work in AFK stages and PvP. Okay, so this is very interesting. Her level 3 upgrade of her exclusive skill. This is a really big change. It will allow each of her ghosts to deal extra true damage equal to 3% of the target's maximum health, and Dream Realm is going to be capped at 90% attack multiplier, but then that means 15 hits, right? You have 15 orbs attacking the boss with the full damage before any damage reduction, and each one is going to be 90% bonus attack true damage. Honestly, when you combine that ultimate along with her with her Ghastly tribute, she's going to have a high amount of true damage from her entire kit. And I'm wondering, is this going to be enough to make her actually useful as a damage deal for Dream Realm? This is definitely the most promising thing, the fact that she can hit bonus true damage with her ghosts. Now, the max health reduction, like we said, is only going to be useful for AFK stages and PvP. But for that, it is going to lower their overall HP pool by up to 25% of their initial health, which is a meaningful difference. And so, yeah, I mean, overall, I really like this level 3 skill upgrade for her ultimate. I think it empowers it even further. And I think for PvP as well, hitting for bonus true damage on each of your ghosts, that's just is free extra damage that's going to burst through opponents. And for AFK stages, I think this is also looking potentially quite promising to deal more damage and make her a better damage dealer for them. And increasing the shield value. So the shield value skill, it doesn't really change much, like giving her a bonus shield, and even if it does expire with no her taking any damage, 300% attack multiplier damage to the enemies, that's hardly anything. It's not true damage or anything like that. So it's really just this level 3 upgrade. So I think for most people, if you're going to build Shemira, you want to get her to plus 10 exclusive equipment. This is a really key skill upgrade. But then after that, you don't have to take her beyond that unless you have plenty of resources. So yeah, this is looking good. I mean, this is giving her potential for Dream Realm. I still don't know because, like, Velka, for example, she has massive true damage from her ultimate as well. And she just wasn't the top tier option for any Dream Realm boss because true damage cannot really compete with HP per second damage in Endless. So, I don't know. Shemira potentially could have some use. And I think more than likely, I feel like this damage is not going to be quite enough to make her a top tier damage here. I think she could be like a backup damage here. Like, you know how Lily May is like fine in Dream Realm, but like not top tier anymore. It could be some situation like that. Okay, the final ability, Enhanced Force or Supreme Plus ability. Each time a hero is defeated, Shemira summons one ghost. This is only going to be useful for PvP AFK stages. Like, for example, in Dream Realm, you're not defeating enemies other than in Plague Creeper. So there's some value actually there. But yeah, so this is mainly looking at AFK stages or PvP. And I think for PvP is really where it is leaning towards because you're going to be able to kill like one opponent pretty quickly in a PvP match. So overall, the thing with Shemira is she looks good. However, she still has the fundamental flaw in heroes in that she is an ultimate dependent hero. Apart from her ultimate, she doesn't offer that much value, to be honest, and she's mainly a damage nuker. So for PvP, she can be a damage nuker. However, you need to protect her and allow her to cast her ultimate and not die before that. And that is easier said than done. I know she has shielding in her kit, but I don't know if that is going to be enough to keep her alive. Because she doesn't have, for example, when we talk about the invincibility mechanisms that other heroes have, like Tassi with their invincibility proc, or for example, Lily May Brainstorm Ballet untargetable, Bonnie, her dash, which also makes her untargetable. Like, Shemira doesn't have anything like that. So it's just about some shielding and some healing from her ultimate, and hopefully that is enough for her to not get nuked at the beginning of the fight. But honestly speaking, it probably is not going to be enough. I worry about her survivability in PvP. For AFK stages, she's looking like a high damage, consistent damage dealer throughout the course of the fight, and she'll be able to consistently get off her ultimate in the back. So I think for AFK stages, I'm seeing the most potential use. For Dream Realm, I mean, she has true damage in her kit. and decent multipliers all in all. However, the thing is, I don't know if it's going to be quite enough, because like you've seen, we have a lot of top tier damage dealers for Dream Realm, and is Shemira going to be better than them? Because she actually has to be better than them, otherwise she's going to see no use. If she's just like Lily May, and who is a good damage dealer, but not better than the other top options, then she's going to basically be not useful anywhere. So that's kind of the thing with Dream Realm. It's a very like cutthroat competition to make it into a top Dream Realm team. You actually have to be better than all of the other options. And if you're good, but not the best, there's no point. You know, you're not going to be using those teams. But I think for earlier game players, potentially, she has a use. Now, just for the charms of the season, she's going to have the same charm quality bonus as Taylene, gaining 40 energy per second during battle, and once 900 energy has been restored, her ultimate damage is going to be boosted by 50% for the rest of the battle. And this is also probably going to apply onto her true damage multipliers from her exclusive equipment. So like, this has a lot of synergy. But because of all of that and how she's a really ultimate dependent hero, I think probably going for the blast charms are going to be the way to go. But honestly, even Butcher Charms are looking very tempting, because the crit can apply, I think, to true damage. I believe true damage can land as a crit, and same with their other damage multipliers, so potentially Butcher Charms could even be pretty good, but Blast is probably the safe way to go. But anyway guys, let me know your thoughts about Shemira in the comment section down below. Do you disagree with anything I said, or is there anything else you want to add? Also, let me know, are you planning to recruit for Shemira after this skill breakdown that we've done? Now, we will be doing more testing later in the day. I definitely want to test her in AFK stages. I'm trying to push AFK stages right now, like on auto battle, because we need to get up to a level where it's actually going to be a difficult stage, so that we can actually see Shemira's true potential. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this one. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. And thank you guys for your support. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.